Hey, this is Crossover Attack, and we're coming to get you this week. And I got the wrong date still on my document. Whatever, doesn't matter what the date is. It is, I don't know.
It is a day. The day you're listening to this.
It's the 25th as we record this. You're probably listening to this on the 26th or later. Oh, and actually I had it up here. Okay, that would have been a lot easier. Whatever. I'm Eric Freshley. I'm here with Hunter Davenport.
It is I, the video game boy.
Yes, we are back. Which we, to kind of, the rough plan right now, to look behind the curtain a little bit, is not to do this every week. But since next week is 4th of July, we're not going to do it next week. So we decided to stuff another one in. You're getting 2 in 2 weeks, which is not going to be usual. At least that's not the rough plan right now. But whatever. That's what we're doing this time.
You're getting a little extra one, a little extra slice of the pie.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, deal with it.
No such thing as too much crossover attack.
That's true. There isn't.
Uh-huh. Second week, and we're the greatest podcast of all time already.
That's right. My doctor told me that it's physically impossible to overdose on a crossover attack.
Yes.
Not possible.
So how are you doing, Hunter? I'm going to assume, considering you live in the United States, not very well.
Yeah, not great.
Not
a great week for people who live here.
No, it's not. We're not going to go into it, but, shit sucks. And, we're going to try to distract ourselves for a little while here.
Yeah.
Talk about some games.
Some the things that actually matter, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we'll start off here. I got a couple things that I wanted to clean up from our last episode. It's a couple things I think we kind of forgot to mention, mostly. Oh, yeah. And actually, this first one here that I had written down, I couldn't even remember if we talked about it or not. Did we talk about Pentiment?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember talking about this with Frank on Comic Club, but not here.
I don't think we did. If we did, then you're going to hear about it twice a little.
Yeah.
This was a game at the Xbox show that we should definitely talk about because it's their only... I think they're only... Maybe there's one other one I'm forgetting, but it's one of a few, at least, Xbox first-party games coming this year. Yeah. This is from Obsidian, who are busy boys, it turns out.
That is a far bigger studio than I imagined, considering they have like 6 games coming out.
Yeah. I remember when Insomniac's been talked about a lot, rightfully so, as the workhorse of Sony since they got acquired, and Obsidian's turned out to be that for Xbox. They have, they released Outer Worlds since they got acquired, even though that was not Microsoft published. They still managed to get it on Game Pass, so just as good, I think. Yeah. And now they have Grounded in early access now, and even when that's out in September, that's not gonna stop. It's it's live service. That's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
They have this Pentiment game, which we haven't even talked about the game yet, but we will in a second. And then they also have Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2 all in the way. It's crazy.
It's crazy to me that they've made this many games. This looks interesting because it's got a cool Monty Python-esque kind of look to it. It's the only way I can describe it is this weird, goofy, cartoony thing.
Yeah. Well, this leaked about 6 months ago or so from Jez Corden, and it was not the art style I was expecting at all. I expected something a lot more like Disco Elysium. And if you didn't see this trailer, it's a smaller game, a very small game, actually. I think it only had 9 developers on it, which is probably why they're able to get so many games out. The Grounded team is very small, too. Avowed and Outer Worlds would be bigger teams. But smaller game, led by Josh Sawyer, who was behind Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Excellent at writing and crafting a narrative and allowing you to make choices. And it's a murder mystery set in the 16th century. And kind of the whole hook on this game is there's 0 combat whatsoever. And I believe at least the early, the leaks were saying that it's a murder mystery and it's going to, even if you guess the mystery wrong, that's going to be taken into account and it's going to keep going. It's not going to be oh, you guessed wrong, game over, try again. It's going to be hey, you accused the wrong person. That person fucking hates you now. And you have to still try to solve the case with that person being kind of an obstacle in your way, or at least that person not cooperating with you anymore. And I don't know. It seems like a crazy tangled web.
Kind of reminds me of Heavy Rain in some ways, where
yeah,
not well in that it'll probably be a better game, but
I hope.
I sure hope so too. But in the way that there's not a game over, you just keep moving. Like it's like a fluid kind of story thing.
Right.
And that makes me more interested in this than other types of games like this. Like, I'm not a big these narrative driven games have kind of famously not been into as much. There's very few that I actually like.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I'm the same way. I think this is a game that I'm gonna respect, but I'm probably not gonna get into it. But I think it's. I just like that. This is probably their first game that they actually started after the acquisition, and it's so weird. And I'm glad that it's Microsoft didn't come in and say that's too niche, kill that and do something else. They're like, no, hey, that's some weird shit, but you go right on ahead.
Apparently, Josh Sawyer pitched this at like Black Isle Studios.
Oh wow,
which is crazy.
Oh yeah,
now they're finally doing it. It's nuts.
Yeah. Another thing that I want. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there anything else about Pensmith?
No, I was just gonna say, though I'm not really as into like the kind of style of game this is. I really like the art style. I think that kind of what it's got going for it.
Yeah. It was not the art style I expected. I did think it was going to look a lot more like Disco Elysium, kind of top down ish. They're 3/4 camera, I guess, and
yeah.
But the other thing I want to mention, and I really was kicking myself for not mentioning this last week. The extended showcase they did ended with a dev video from the Stalker 2 team.
Yeah.
And it was... They did show, like, the first cutscene of the game, but more importantly, they showed this... well, it was a dev diary, but it was what it's like to develop the game right now in the Ukraine during the war. And, like, it was fucking harrowing.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it really is.
I recommend you watch it, though, because it is very
yes.
much like... It's something that you don't think about, and it's important to know that this is happening in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew it, but to see to see the people that it's affected by it, hear their stories. One guy was like, there was a dude in there who was in his bathtub, and he said, like, well, with his laptop, he's like, I've been living in this bathtub for, like the last month or 2 months because it's the safest place to be, but I'm still cracking away on the game. I'm like, dude, the game can fucking wait, man.
Yeah, I'm willing to not have Stalker 2 if it means they'll be safe. Honestly, like it's not.
I guess that's kind of what they need to fill their days. I don't know. Like I can't put myself in that position, but
yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. It's a very tragic situation. These poor guys having to essentially uproot their lives like this. Over something that I don't really think that really involves them, really.
No, not at all. And there were also the other parts of the video showed people on the dev team who have enlisted and are fucking fighting. And
yeah, it's crazy.
It's a, like you mentioned it. It's a tough watch, but it's a must watch.
It is.
Yeah. So find that on YouTube, please. And the last thing, also depressing, the board of directors at Activision, after we talked about Bobby Kotick last week, they re-elected him for another year, which sounds terrible, and it is terrible, but also I think the acquisition will be done within the year, so I don't know.
There's no way. Bobby Kotick, for those who don't know, Bobby Kotick re-elected for another year, which I saw coming. It's pretty clear that he was going to stay no matter what. Yeah,
well, I mean, you don't want to, in the middle of an acquisition, you don't want to have too much turbulence, but still, it's fucking,
He is staying until Phil Spencer tells him to get the fuck out.
Yes, and Phil's not allowed to do that yet, but that day's coming, and I think that'll be in less than a year, I would hope.
I don't think Phil Spencer is like a perfect guy. Probably not. Like, I'm not going to...
How dare you!
I'm not gonna fanboy over a business executive, but I feel like he actually has a conscience, and he knows that he's going to fire Bobby Kotick. Yeah, I bet Bobby Kotick knows that.
Oh yeah, Bobby absolutely knows that, and I mean, all right. Even if he wasn't a despicable person, what role would he have?
That's true.
Yeah,
like what? would he go like be a QA tester or something?
Yeah, he's not a creative force, and he's not gonna lead Xbox. So what the fuck would he do there anyway? Despite the fact, besides the fact that he is this horrible, rotten scumbag.
It's funny. I've been listening to Old Giant Bombs, and they were talking like way back during like the Guitar Hero Rock Band days. They were talking about how Bobby Kotick was like, when he was kind of coming up in Activision, he wasn't known as the games guy. Really,
no.
He's kind of an outsider.
No. And a lot of these, execs aren't. Phil Spencer is kind of an outlier in that he actually does like games. He's not just there for the business. Yeah. Which in a way, and I think, like Sean Layden was the same way, and, Shuhei. I don't think Jim Ryan is that way. I don't think Jim Ryan's an evil guy by any means. He does seem pretty, sometimes a little out there, but anyway.
We'll talk about Jim Ryan on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's going to come out.
I know. It's a shame we haven't gotten any crazy statements in the... Well, I guess we've only been going like 8 days. I think my favorite Jeff Grubb thing is the Jim Ryan quotes are always amazing because he's right. They're always hilarious. Yes. We need some new quotes, Jim Ryan. Get out there, please.
We do.
All right, so that's it for cleanup. I guess we will, in this little opening section here, we'll have corrections and stuff. I don't think we got any corrections from last week, but just some stuff that... The Bobby Kotick thing was a new development, and the other things were things we forgot about.
Yeah.
Or maybe didn't forget about in Pensmith. We can't remember. And then let's move on to games. I guess the newest one on this list here is the Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yeah.
So hit me.
Which I've been playing on the Switch. So I love these collections that Capcom always puts out. Like I bought the Beat 'em Up one, and I really like the Street Fighter collection. And they just released this one, which has... I think 5 Darkstalker games. It has Red Earth. It has Street Fighter. It has
Red Earth. Red Earth being there is crazy.
That game is awesome. I don't know if you ever played it before, but that game is cool as shit.
I've watched videos of it. I've never played it.
It is so cool. I really like this thing. The people who are complaining about the netcode and stuff like that, I'm like, it's not. Are you really going to play this port of Street Fighter 2 on the Capcom Fighting Collection competitively? Like, it's not. I don't think of it like that. This is just a fun way to play arcade modes in fighting games. And it's got Puzzle Fighter, which is always good.
Yeah, I think I have. Is it Puzzle Fighter that I have a 360 version of? I don't remember. I think it is. Yeah. I see. I would say I know there's a Darkstalker scene that would like to be able to play that game online well.
Yeah, that I can understand that, but there's some people who seem to think that every port of a fighting game is going to be the next competitive scene for it, and I'm like, it's probably not going to.
Yeah, it is rollback, so that's kind of a bummer to hear that that's not going well. I didn't even know that, honestly, until you mentioned it. I didn't know that the netcode wasn't going well.
I haven't checked it out.
Okay.
But I've seen kind of talk from people I know who who said it's not very good.
See, yeah, I've had other games where people complain about the netcode, and I try it, and it seems perfect. So, I guess we'll have to try that ourselves.
But good on Capcom putting rollback in it, though. Even if it's not great.
Yeah. I was going to say I guess it was the Street Fighter collection they did before this. Didn't have all the games online, right? It was only half of them or less than half, and this one is all the games, correct?
Yes, it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. If I were wanting to play them online, I could. I'm mostly just having fun with the arcade modes, really.
Yeah.
And they're simplified controls, like your shoulder buttons or your special attacks, and you can do your super move.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fun. I highly recommend it if you're looking for something to just waste time with on the Switch. It runs pretty good. And you can play Darkstalkers on it. More Darkstalkers is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, I'd like to see Darkstalker. I mean, there's a lot of those games I'd like to come back. And I hope this does well, because I would like them to do another collection with more of the 3D-ish games, and I'm talking Power Stone and Rival Schools mostly.
Yes. Put Street Fighter EX on there just for good measure.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
I don't know the legal situation going with that because it wasn't a Capcom team that made them.
It was Araki. Was it the name of the company, or
I think so.
Spice.
And they did Fighting EX Layer like 2 years ago.
That game was ridiculous. That game's great.
Yeah, but so the Street Fighter EX games have Skullomania on them, which no longer belongs to Capcom. So I don't know if they would have run into trouble re-releasing those.
Yeah, but Skullomania lives on in our hearts and minds. So.
But yeah, if you could do Street Fighter EX and Power Stone and Rival Schools, that would be fantastic.
I'm sure
there's probably more I'm forgetting too.
I'm sure if they asked Arika, they'd be fine with it.
Sure, yeah, of course. Like, there's a deal to be made there for sure.
But
there was something else I was gonna ask about that. No, I forget it. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would like to see happen. So yeah, that's cool. Can't remember. Damn it. Oh well. We'll move on then, because I will also talk a little bit about fighting games. So I have actually not really played anything this week because, number one, it's only been 1 week. And also, I was going to play Fall Guys last night because that just went free to play and went on Switch and Xbox. But, wasn't feeling good last night because of the stuff we mentioned earlier, so I just didn't really feel like playing anything.
It's also the servers are destroyed, so you might want to...
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I've been trying to play it for 2 days now, and it's not a good experience right now.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But I did go on YouTube and watch. There's a YouTube channel I like called. Oh, I guess I should say I'm just getting into them, kind of. Hold Back to Block.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I watch these guys too. They're really good.
Yeah, and I've seen it before, but I'm rewatching it now, and I'm watching some of the extra footage they have on their channel, also of the Killer Instinct documentary. I guess it's about Killer Instinct as a whole franchise, but it in particularly focuses on the 2013 game. And there's that documentary, and then there's a separate documentary just about the music of Killer Instinct too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Nick Gordon's a madman.
He is. He's our madman.
Yeah, and he's so like charming in the documentary, and so is Ken Lobb, by the way, who's not involved with the music, but still. And just the story behind the making of this game, and kind of it's a rabid fan base that you just don't hear much about. It's weird. I think a lot of people don't know how big that game is.
Oh yeah,
in a weird way.
It's a weird cult following, but
yeah.
I think I played a lot of 2013 like a couple of years ago, and that game is really good. And I feel like from watching Maximilian and Super Best Friends, when they talked about it, that game is huge. The people love it, and it's kind of a shame it doesn't exist anymore. Essentially,
well, I don't know. I think there is still people playing it, but the problem is the people who are still playing it are really, really fucking good now.
Yeah.
If you just want to jump on and learn the game, you're gonna get demolished.
There are killers playing that game.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, I was just reminded the reason I watched it again was because of Rumbleverse. It's the same developers who did Rumbleverse.
Oh yeah, it's Iron Galaxy.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah, and Killer Instinct. I highly suggest everyone go watch the documentary. But it started as Double Helix and then moved to Iron Galaxy in season 2 and 3, which was a crazy story all by itself because Double Helix got bought by Amazon and then they got swallowed up. And I guess they are making stuff now, but there was a long time they were just languishing away. But I guess now they're making on the MMO.
Yeah, they're in the Lord of the Rings mines right now.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, what's that MMO that Amazon put out?
Oh, New World? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were doing.
I don't know.
Okay.
New World kind of came out, and it seemed like it had positive people playing, and then I found out, that game's like a cesspool, essentially.
Oh, damn. Plus, I don't even know if the Double Helix team exists as they used to. I mean, they kind of they're not called that anymore. Yeah.
I'm sure it's all a skeleton crew right now.
Yeah.
Important question about this documentary. Seeing
Yes.
as it's dealing with Iron Galaxy, does a certain Dave Lang show up in this documentary?
No, Dave Lang doesn't, because I think. Oh wait, actually, well, there is some. He's not interviewed, but I believe they show some old footage of him. The documentary, the Prime one, that's not there's the music one and the Prime one. The Prime one is a lot of Ken Lobb, who works at Microsoft, and he used to work at Rare. So like he's been on, the only guy really who's been on all the Killer Instincts, the old ones and the new one. And he is just a fascinating, weird dude. He's got so much energy and so much enthusiasm. Yeah. I really wish, like, I don't know what he's up to now. Like, he's been at Microsoft forever, but he doesn't direct any games himself. Like, he kind of is, I don't know, product development or something. But
he might be like doing that weird thing that like John Drake did for a while, where he was an account holder, like where essentially he just meets with the studios and be like, "Hey, you want to make a game?" Like,
yeah, it does seem like that, especially around when 2013 when they were doing the Killer Instinct thing. He was kind of like the guy who was like, "We should do this game. Okay, let's go find a studio for it," and then that kind of thing. And I don't know, if that's still the position he holds there, but he's a legend.
If I had to work in the game industry, that's the job I want.
To tell other people what to do.
Yeah, make this game. They need to make one of these documentaries before Windjammers, just so we can have just all these personalities talk about the games that matter.
Man, Windjammers 2 just kind of came and went. What a bummer that is.
It's so sad. The first one's so good, and
I know. And I think this one's good. It just like didn't get any attention.
And then there was that weird like spiritual successor game that I don't remember the name of.
Disc Jam,
yeah.
I didn't play that one. Or maybe I did a demo, but I don't remember. And this is one of my bugs with Microsoft. Like, there's a couple of those indie games that show up on Game Pass day one that they really need a quarterly Nintendo Direct style show where they can, because some of these games are incredible and they get them on Game Pass day one, but they just don't talk about them and then they get ignored. Like they pick a few like Tunic that they'll talk about. But then there's others that just, Killer Queen Black was another one. It was on there, and it's great, but just nobody played it. And I blame Microsoft for that.
There's an indie game on there. It was like a game where you have to like build like fake rockets. It's like kind of like a weird fake YouTube type thing.
Punk, something punk.
Yeah, something punk.
Hang on. Go ahead.
And I played it, and I was like, "This is really good. Why didn't they not talk to anybody about this?"
Yeah, they do this a lot. They need Nintendo Direct style show. Whenever I bring this up, people say like, "Well, they don't have the first party games." Well, it doesn't always need to be first party. I'm looking at it now. It's not punk something. So I'm gonna have to find that later because that's gonna drive me nuts because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Next Space Rebels. That's the name of it.
What is it?
Next Space Rebels.
That was it.
Yeah. But that game's great. If you've not played it, go play it. But yeah.
Tell me about Dragon Age.
I was kind of feeling an itch earlier because it is the Steam Summer Sale, and I was looking at games. I had about $30 I could spend on games.
There's a crazy Switch sale going on too.
There is. It's nuts. And I got Dragon Age Origins as part of the things I picked up. I picked up a few other things too, as such as the Fear games. I haven't touched those yet. But I got Dragon Age and Dragon Age 2 because those are the only two I don't own. And Dragon Age Origins holds up really well.
Is it your first time playing it?
No, I haven't beaten it before, but I've played it before.
I've not. I mentioned this last week too. I'm not a big fantasy guy. I love Mass Effect, but I never got into Dragon Age. The only one I've messed with is Inquisition, which was all right. Yeah. I had fun with it, but I didn't finish it. So,
man, this game holds up really well. It's kind of got weird like MMO kind of aesthetics, which I really love. Where you get like a hot bar and you're pressing like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 on PC to like cast off your spells. It's just like I really like Dragon Age, and this game just makes me pray to God that Dragon Age Red Wolf is actually good and not the death of BioWare.
Well, I mean, I think the reason they announced a Mass Effect also is to say like, hey, no matter what happens to Dragon Age, we're gonna at least do another Mass Effect, and
then be killed by EA. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that was. I feel like BioWare announced that so that EA couldn't kill them, almost.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I also feel like EA can't afford to kill any studios right now with them potentially being acquired.
Right, that's what I think too. And also it does seem like they've really made somewhat of an effort, especially with Star Wars, wasn't it Jedi Fallen Order? They'll be like, hey, we're going to make a few single-player games, at least. So I don't think they can kill BioWare. No. You know, and I know there's part of me that's saying that, like, famous last words, but I don't know.
They might try, but I don't know if they will.
I would hope they would at least sell them off, especially in this market. Like, somebody will pick up BioWare. Embracer certainly will.
They'll give them $300 million.
Yeah.
Man, even like stuff like Anthem, like I don't like Anthem at all, but like the flying in that game is so much fun. Like
there's parts of that game I love so goddamn much.
And it's like there's a good studio in there somewhere. They just need to like get out and do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna at some point make a video about Anthem and the Avengers, and kind of other just live service games about how I think a lot of them overreach. Where if Anthem was if they just did a campaign 1 to 4 players and made it linear instead of a big crazy open world, and then in addition to that have a horde mode, and you know the horde mode can be where they continually add things. If they just did those two, just had that without a big open world, without maybe a crazy in-depth loop system, and they just focused on what they did well, I think that game would have done well. Like Mass Effect 3 did that. They had a campaign and a horde mode, and it was fucking phenomenal. I love that horde mode.
Honestly, the horde mode could be their live service too. Like it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't hate that. Like I'd be like, oh, that I think that actually would be pretty cool if someone made like a horde mode and that is like the entire game essentially.
Yeah, they did that in Mass Effect 3. I don't know why they can't do it again.
It's very strange. Like, I just don't understand EA sometimes.
I don't know. That's what Anthem should have been. And they also... I don't know. I don't want to get on an Anthem thing because I do want to make a separate video on it at some point. But the fact that they did promise to fix that game and to do the Anthem 2.0 and then just said, like, nah.
I remember the most depressing thing I ever heard. I think it was a couple years ago when someone told me that around the time they abandoned Anthem, they didn't even bother to take the Christmas decorations down in the game.
Oh, God, that's sad. I mean, the game is still open. Like, there's some people I was talking today in this group chat we're both a part of, and some people think the servers are down. You can still play it. I don't really know why you...
It's still
yeah. And I think they even gave it an FPS boost. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
It's pretty crazy that they did that, honestly.
I don't know, I'd say especially on Game Pass, it's worth going in there and messing around with it because it is fun to play and the combat's fun.
It is fun to fly around in your suit.
Yes.
It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, and I like the the aerial combat. But anyway, yeah, they're doing that. I guess Dragon Age will probably be out holiday next year. I would assume.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I know. And then God, who knows when Mass Effect's coming after that?
That'll be a couple of years, I think.
They also need to do, and this is another thing I'm probably going to make a separate video on, they need to contract another team, I should say, somebody outside of EA who does, somebody like the guy who does Killing Floor or World War Z or something like that to let BioWare focus on just the campaign, and they need to bring back Mass Effect multiplayer as a separate, free-to-play, cross-play live service thing.
I think it'd be interesting if BioWare did another IP game. And now that Disney's shopping around Marvel, maybe we can get one of those, you know what I mean?
Ooh, that would be interesting. Yeah, let's see, what would they do? I mean, we just got a Guardians game, so not them.
There's something good in there. They could do like I don't know. Well,
they could do X-Men, honestly.
They could.
Yeah. BioWare X-Men game would be great. Shit, now you got me thinking.
Yeah, BioWare X-Men, that'd be pretty cool. Or they could go super obscure and do like New Warriors or something cool like that.
Yeah, I don't think that'll sell.
Probably not, but I'll buy it. That's all that matters to me.
I need a speedball game, damn it.
Yeah, I'd play that.
And it ends with you starting Civil War.
It ends with you wearing the pennant suit.
Yeah. Oh man, a BioWare X-Men game. Now I'm just gonna be thinking about that for like the next year or so.
That's gonna be the only thing I think about for the rest of my life now.
I will talk briefly because it's old now. I mean, well, the game, whatever. Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. This came out in February, and but it's always coming out, right? Like that's how these games work.
There's always Destiny.
Right. But I want to talk specifically about the big expansion that came out in February and the season that attached to that. There's a new season, which I'm not up to date on, unfortunately. But so far, like I'm a Destiny fan and have been really since Destiny 2 launched. I didn't get into Destiny 1. I tried it and didn't love it at the time. But I do love it now. Boy, Destiny 2, if you go on my Xbox, like and you sort by like hours played, it's the game I've played the most last generation. And honestly, probably, maybe in my whole life. I've put a lot of time into it. And they have improved so much on telling their story. I used to not understand Destiny's story and not really care either. It was just gobbledygook. And the way they tell them now, it's still not perfect. You still have to, I find myself to go into YouTube sometimes to get some clarification and everything. But they're getting a lot better and getting a lot more focused. And instead of just kind of these abstract, the lightness and the darkness and these things that it's tough to pinpoint, they're really honing in on a couple characters and making them well-defined. Especially this guy, Crow, who is a former, this is spoilers for an expansion like couple years ago now, but he was a villain who killed Cade 6, and then we killed him, and now he's been resurrected, but as a guardian, which means he doesn't have any of his memories of being, the villain who killed Cade 6. But everybody, we're still obviously distrusting him because it's still, he's in that body, and he looks like, hey, the guy we all fucking hate the most. And he's just sitting there like, guys, I don't know, I don't remember that guy, and I'm just trying to do my best here and everything, but now and some of those memories are starting to come back and everything. Anyway, that's all getting into the weeds. Just the point of that, they're getting so much better at telling stories, which I find very impressive. I'm actually caring about what's going to happen next in the plot of Destiny, not just having fun running around shooting guys, which is what I've done for years and years in that game.
Destiny is a game I love to play with podcasts in the background. It's just such a good time all the time. Like it's something you can shut your brain off and play, and I think has a lot of value in gaming.
Right.
The story for me though, I've never really gotten into the storyline really. I'm more just shooting things.
I didn't either until this last year. It started to become more clear to me what was going on, and I liked it, especially this Crow stuff is what really has kind of been the point I really latched onto. They've introduced crafting, which has pluses and minuses. Overall, I really like it and think it's a big improvement. I actually wish they would push it further. I wish the whole game would become about trying to get your weapon and leveling it up and forming it to the exact way you want it rather than having random drops of weapons. I'm kind of scatterbrained here, going all over the place but essentially I think this is the best expansion Destiny's ever done. And I played it. This is the first time they've done, or at least the first time in Destiny 2, they've done a campaign with an easy mode and a hard mode. And I actually played hard mode, which I didn't expect to, which I don't normally do in games, but in this case I did. And it was such a rewarding experience. It's funny. Like I said, I don't usually get into super hard games, but this felt a lot like, gave me the same feelings of Monster Hunter losing to a monster over and over and over, and then finally getting it done and putting the pieces together, and just the euphoria that comes with that.
Or finally killing Diablos and getting your final piece of the armor set.
Exactly. Yeah. And we had to play differently because Destiny is normally an easy game that you just spam your abilities or run through it. It makes you feel like an absolute badass, which I love. But in this time, we really had to be careful on how we played.
Yes.
And it did. They are revamping the classes too. So we expected, in the expansion before this one, they introduced the first Darkness subclass. A lot of this I think people know already, so I'm just giving a little bit of background information. And we expected with this one that would be another Darkness subclass, but no, instead they're revamping the 3 light subclasses. They've done 2 so far, and the next one will be in 2 months from now. The last one, I should say. That's going to be the Arc subclass. And what they did with Void, I'm a Void Titan. That's what I've always played, and I love how they changed it up with Void 3.0. And then Solar 3.0 just happened. I think that's pretty neat. But I liked Void better, and we'll see what happens with Arc.
You know me, I love throwing the hammers, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, have you tried the new Solar subclass yet, then?
I've not, but I've heard good things.
You can do this crazy, like, Ryu Shoryuken uppercut now.
Oh... I need to play this game again.
Yeah, it's really cool. You do you slide and then you hit your melee, and he does this huge uppercut, and then and that takes half your melee ability, and if you hit it again when you're in the air, he does a big slam down with the double hammers, and that takes the other half. And it's really cool. And it's crazy hard to die as a Solar Titan now because they have so many healing abilities.
Yeah. Wow. I'll have to check that out.
I know there's honestly there's so much to talk about that expansion, but I'll probably stop right there, cut it off there. And I like this current season I've not gotten into very much yet. I needed to do the plot of that and the activity. I really liked the season. There's the expansion, then there's the seasonal content. The season that happened alongside the expansion had 5 weapons that I fucking love that are just right down my alley. This current season doesn't. It has 1 weapon that seems neat, and the other ones are, like, I'm not saying they're bad weapons, it's just not my playstyle. I like pulse rifles and bows, and that's the way I like to play. And there was a great pulse rifle and a great bow in last season. This one has a great trace rifle that I need to get a crafted version of. But other than that, the other weapons are just not my style. But anyway, that's what we've been playing, and I will try to... Before we record next, I want to try to do more of this current season, and maybe I'll talk about it again next week.
I'd love to hear about it. Not really. I mean, I haven't really played anything else like that. I'm trying to play Fall Guys, but that's not really going well.
Yeah, I do want to jump into that. And I think, let's see, we're going to record next week on the 9th. There was something coming out between now and then that I forgot about. Can't remember. I mean, Multiverses might hit. They're just saying July. They haven't put a date yet. I expect it'll probably won't, but that could happen.
I'm guessing mid-July.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
There was something coming to Game Pass like at the end of June. I wonder if it's on the
Is
app.
it Naraka? No, Naraka just dropped.
Naraka, so yeah, I actually did. I jumped into that because I thought the campaign was coming out at the same time. It turns out no. So I just did the tutorial of that and then looked for the campaign and it wasn't there and then stopped.
Yeah,
I
want to try that out eventually, but right now I'm just kind of like not really into the idea of playing a battle royale right now. So yeah. I'll wait for the campaign.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the battle royale at all. So I was really excited for the campaign and turned out to not be there. I felt like at the end of June there was something else coming to Game Pass, but I can't remember it now. Oh well. Well, anyway, we'll have new games to talk about in 2 weeks is the point we're getting to. Mm-hmm. Let's hit the news, shall we?
Let's do it.
Do we have a jingle for this? No, we don't have any songs right now. I should probably throw in a song at the beginning.
Cue the Giant Bomb news team.
There's allegedly a Nintendo Direct coming next week. I believe on the 28th is what the current rumor is. And this is from Jeff Grubb talked about it. Tom Henderson's talked about it. I think Emily Rogers talked about it at some point. There's a lot of people talking about it.
Alana talked about it too. That's where I first heard about it.
Yeah, she did. And then Nate the Hates actually today kind of got out there and said that he's hearing it's going to be third-party focus. Not that there will be zero first-party. There might be a couple things.
Well, third-party means a lot of things, and I think people are getting way up their own asses about what that means.
Sure. There was a thing from Treasure, who...
Ooh.
who mentioned like I believe they were celebrating their 30th anniversary, and they had mentioned like, "Hey, we're working on that game, the one that everybody wants."
Ikaruga 2.
I was thinking Gunstar Heroes, but maybe
I don't know.
There's a couple things that could be.
Mischief Makers 2.
Yes.
Dynamite Eddie 2.
So that's the kind of thing that could pop up on a Nintendo Direct. Also, the Treasure is not, the studio that they used to be, so I'm not getting too excited yet.
They also made Wario World, and I'm the only person on Earth who wants Wario World 2, so hopefully it's that.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it.
I know.
What are the other things, like especially third-party things that could show up there? I feel like there was a couple that I heard mentioned. Now I can't remember.
Probably some Sega games, I'd imagine. Like Sega will be there. I'm sure there'll be. I'm thinking that this is finally Direct where they reveal that those the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters are coming to Switch.
Oh right.
I'm sure that'll happen.
Hey, maybe Persona.
I sure hope so, because it's getting a little ridiculous.
It's not gonna. Maybe after these versions are out on Xbox and Steam and stuff, but
people will still think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be here.
I know.
People need to adjust.
But actually, now that you mention it, I could see that collection of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I could see that. I hope it happens, because honestly, like those ports are solid, and it's a shame you can only play them on the Wii U.
Right.
A system that I don't own anymore.
Yeah, me neither. But I believe and I can't remember if they said this publicly or if this was just kind of an internal thing that got out there, but that they wanted a Zelda thing every year since Breath of the Wild, and I think they've hit that so far. They did, Link's Awakening, and they did Skyward Sword. I think there's been a couple other little things like that I can't remember. Oh, Cadence of Hyrule, if you count that. Yeah. So they don't have one yet this year. So
it'll be the Nintendo TV show, the Legend of Zelda TV show.
All right.
Supposedly, and this is more on top of my other interests, but still Nintendo related, that they're going to do a Nintendo area in a Nintendo Land. So maybe we'll get a game coming out alongside that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
I'm trying to pull up the list of kind of other third-party games that have been rumored.
You know what I hope is at this Direct? And I hope we get a Mario trailer. I really want to hear the voice that Chris Pratt keeps
I thought you were talking about a new Mario game.
No. I want to hear the voice that I keep getting threatened with.
Yeah, I didn't put that in the news, but yeah, Chris Pratt was out there saying like it's gonna be like nothing you've heard before. Like what the fuck does that mean?
Absolutely most ominous thing I've ever heard in my life.
What a goofy ass thing that's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can't find the kind of list I was looking for of like the other third-party games that have been rumored for Switch, but I don't know. There is actually, the one I keep seeing mentioned in the quick search I just did here was that Persona 4 Arena game, which is coming. Speaking of Persona.
Sure.
But there's got to be more than that. And there certainly will be. It's just...
matter of time.
I don't know. Yeah. I would like to hear a little more from first party from them, but... Well, actually, wait. Bayonetta's still this year, right? Where the hell's that?
They say it's this year. But
I
do you
know.
believe them?
I want to believe. I mean, I don't even care about that game. I mean, I do and I don't. I'm not caught up on Bayonetta.
I care about Bayonetta, but I've let that dream go. This is
gonna have to happen.
It's gonna come out. I don't think it's gonna be Dead Island, but I think it's definitely coming out.
There's also a nebulous Metroid Prime 1 remaster floating out there that supposedly has been done forever. They just are looking for a gap in the calendar to release. But I don't think they're going to... But I was going to say, I don't think they're going to have a gap this year because they have the Fire Emblem Muso just released. They got Splatoon. They got
Xenoblade
Pokemon.
Coming up literally 2 weeks from now, I think.
Yeah. Xenoblade, Pokemon, maybe Bayonetta. Maybe the Zelda remasters.
We still don't know what is going to be for holiday this year for them, though, right?
I was actually talking about that with Brett from Destructoid. Not really. Well, I mean, Pokemon, I guess, is it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is this year. I guess there is a lot of...
And that is kind of all you need, really. But
I mean, I'm going to play Pokemon.
Yeah. But also there's Bayonetta and... what was the other one? I just mentioned it. I literally just mentioned it. The other thing. But also Advance Wars is floating around. And nobody knows what's going on with that. Not that that's like a big Christmas game. I want it. I'm really psyched for Advance Wars. But I mean Pokemon's the big one for sure. Creative Assembly. We heard from them. And they are not making aliens.
They're making this weird robbery game that could be cool. It could be cool.
Yeah, I think it sounds neat. The game's called Hyenas. It comes out next year. And I don't know, did they mention if it's free to play or not? I don't remember.
I don't think they said.
Okay.
This is a game that made me listen to what hyenas sound like. Because I desperately needed to know if that was an accurate sound they were playing.
So this game is the big thing about the differentiator between it and everything else out there right now is it is 5 teams of 3, which sounds crazy. Yeah, and you mentioned I'm hearing myself echo now. By the way, you mentioned and it's gone now. It was just for a second. That was strange, but you had mentioned it's a robbery game, and it's up in the future. And you're like in the space station that's got seems like a consumer space station because it has like a food court and a mall and stuff like that in there. And parts of this game, parts of the stages, I guess, will be played in zero gravity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Creative Assembly, they make Total War and stuff like that.
They also did that Aliens game that I mentioned.
They did, but I played that and I didn't care for it. Another thing.
I mean, it's not my thing either, but a lot of people love that game.
I'm sure they do.
That shit. Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, it's weird to see them going off into multiplayer, but I'm not against it.
I like space malls. That'd be cool.
There was no gameplay. It was all CG. So this was like an IGN presentation they did. And yeah, it was a CG trailer, and then they did a bunch of interviews after where they gave more information, but no gameplay shown yet. Which is, it's hard to know anything based on that. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if it's first person or third. I assumed first, but now that I think about it, don't know.
I hope that Cosmic Kiryu is a playable character, and I can also play as Sonic.
They actually did show a Sonic, gun charm.
Yeah. That's stuff I love. Is stuff referent. That's like the best part of Banana Mania. Is like you can play as Cosmic Kiryu and Sonic.
You can play as a Dreamcast console.
Yeah. I love Sega. They always do weird shit like that.
Yeah. I think this. Like I said, I don't know if they mentioned if it's free to play, but I think it really should be.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. It'll get people playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be cool. It looks like it's got a cool style.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. That's next year. From Software, you heard of these guys?
Yeah, I think I heard they made this game called Elden Ring, a little indie game.
What's that?
It's some little indie game I haven't heard much about.
Well, they got a new game. Fuck Elden Ring. It's in the past. We're on to the new thing. Which we don't know what it is yet.
This is so weird that they developed a game in secret and are about to release it, sounds like.
Yeah. They said it is, I think this is from Miyazaki himself. He said this game is in the final stages of development. This is Armored Core, right?
Probably.
Yeah. They've been talking about Armored Core. That was their big franchise before Dark Souls. And it has a small but loyal fan base that have been wanting it back. And this is not, we should say, this is not Miyazaki's game. This is a different team within From Software.
So it's not going to be a Souls-like.
I mean, it could be. It could still,
This might be an unpopular opinion. I hope it's not a Souls-like.
I'm with you. I don't like Souls-like games. I'm not into FromSoft. So if they did something totally different, it's probably gonna be the only way to get me. Or if they did a Souls-like with a more of a an easy co-op system, I would give that a try. But yeah, I hope they do something different. I hope this Armored Core is more like the old ones. But I kind of feel like they might do a Souls-like and a mech and call that Armored Core.
I really hope they don't. That sounds really boring.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. FromSoft has not made a game for me yet, but obviously, they don't give a shit about that because they are, especially Elden Ring, they've blown up in a big bad way.
They're selling like what, 12 million copies in a week now. Like it doesn't even matter what we want anymore.
Yeah. And there you go. So, new FromSoft game, maybe this year if you're lucky. But who knows how big that'll be. Did they have anything to do with Metal Wolf Chaos?
Yes,
I feel
they
like
did. They did.
Okay, I thought
they published it, and they didn't release it in the West because they thought it was making fun of us. And you know what?
It was.
You know what? We deserve it.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking release that. Well, I was going to say release that again, but they did release that again. So.
Yeah, the game rules.
Hey, Skull and Bones. The Sea of Thieves killer. Big success on that front, right? Good.
Did I hear right that this game has added like non-ship combat content? Like you can like go on the islands and stuff now?
So nobody really knows. That has been discussed, but it sounds like this game has been scrapped and rebooted like 4 times. So who knows what's in there now?
This game is going to be an unmitigated disaster. I'm fairly certain.
Yes, it is. But anyway, the news here, the reason we're talking about it is it has been rated in Brazil and now South Korea.
So it's coming out in October.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and honestly, I believe there's even a fresher rumor than I didn't write down here, is that I think this is also from Tom Henderson, I believe, said the re-reveal is happening early July. So we might be hearing about this in a couple days here.
So, yeah, it'll be like on Friday.
Yeah. And the word was around that this is developed by Ubisoft Singapore, and they made a deal with the Singapore government that essentially this game has to come out, and that's the only reason it wasn't canceled.
I love the implication that if they don't, they're just all going to jail.
Yes. This, my suspicion is that it's going to be, the ship combat from Assassin's Creed in a multiplayer live service environment, and I think the on-foot stuff will kind of be like your hub between matches where you just walk around town and like, hey, go to this tent to customize your ship and go to this tent to apply your weapons or whatever the fuck.
Do a silly pirate dance while you're waiting for matchmaking.
Yeah. That's what I would suspect is going to happen. Also, part of these ratings, there was no PS4 or Xbox One version, so this might be next gen only or current gen, whatever the hell.
Yeah, because I am kind of envious of those people who won't get to play this game.
Yeah, no shit. Actually, now that we're talking about Hyenas, I've posed the same question here. Was this one free to play? Or I don't know if they mentioned that either.
This will not be free to play. I guarantee it.
Oh, fuck. Well, then they're really fucked even more. Ubisoft just released a free-to-play game called Roller Champions, which seems like it's very good, but I don't hear anybody talking about it.
I'm going to be honest, I forgot this existed.
They talked about it at E3 like 3 years ago, and then hadn't talked about it since, and just dropped it. And like I see no promotion about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I hear it's good.
Sure. I'm sure it is.
It's like a weird roller derby sport, and not even like proper roller derby because you're also throwing a ball through like nets in the air. But I don't know. I installed it. It's maybe I'll try it sometime. Probably not. But it's a shame. Shame if it just kind of comes and goes without getting even a chance to succeed. But you never know with free to play games. Like there could be like Brawlhalla where it has a billion players and just nobody's ever talking about it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Could be like that Crossfire X game that's apparently huge.
Oh,
I've never seen anything from it.
It is mostly big in China and South Korea. It's the biggest. It's the most played game in the world, but just nobody plays it here.
Wow.
I know,
Really?
and that's the original version of Crossfire. The Crossfire X version, I don't think anybody's playing even over there.
That's rough.
Yeah. Yep, bummer about with that whole thing. But I think that's probably the paycheck from that game is probably the reason that they're able to make Alan Wake 2. So
good on them.
Silver lining there.
Make that money.
Yeah. Did you play Tiny Tina's Wonderlands?
I did. I have not finished it because I honestly do not care that much about it.
That's a bummer. I love Borderlands, and I do want to eventually play this one. I just haven't.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I love Borderlands 2. I don't care for this one. Something
bummer.
about it just not clicking with me.
Did you like that DLC for Borderlands 2 with the Dungeons & Dragons thing?
Yeah.
Assault of Dragon Keep.
Yeah, it's great. For some, this is just not. I'm just not into this one.
Huh.
I think it's funny and there's a lot of great moments in it, but like it's just not clicking with me.
Oh, that's a bummer. But the reason we're talking about it is they're adding a new class with the final piece of DLCs, getting the Blight Caller class. Nothing real specific yet, except they mentioned it's going to be focused around poison and elemental damage.
Okay.
That's probably not going to change your mind about the game, is it?
Nope. Not till if it's something cool, I'll probably check it out. Like it's not.
Yeah.
If it's a new class, like there's a lot of cool new classes they added to, like the bandit class. So
Which class did you use?
did I use? What am I?
I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. The game, it's not very memorable to me, clearly.
Shit. I want to use the, I don't know what it's actually called, but the class where you get a little dragon that follows you and your supers are on this massive hammer. That's the class I'm planning on using.
That is the one I'm using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And even that's not fun? Damn it. If you can have a dragon companion and your game's not fun, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Not for me.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to still, at some point, especially when it's on sale, I'm going to give it a try. I'm kind of in a lot of co-op games I'm kind of in a holding pattern for because I play these games with Lisa, and she does not have a Series X yet. And she says she's fine playing on Xbox One, but it bothers me. So
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, she'll get one eventually. It's just like...
I don't even know. Man. Well, that's a whole nother story. Whatever. Anyway. Hey, Yu Suzuki just released a game.
Ooh.
It's not Shenmue.
Damn.
It's a Space Harrier-like game called Air Twister, and it's on Apple Arcade.
This is surprising to me that he did this.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't there like a big gap before Shenmue 3 of him not just doing anything involved with games?
I'm fairly certain he had like an office job before he came back for Shenmue 3.
Yeah. The biggest reason I wanted to mention this, though, is I really think everyone needs to look this up and hear this crazy-ass soundtrack.
Oh, it's so So I watched, I think it was Jeff Gerstmann play this.
I watched a little bit of that right before we started recording.
And, like, man.
It sounds like Queen.
Yeah.
So you're, like, playing the Space Harrier game with fucking Queen playing in the background. It's so weird. I would like to try this game, just not. I don't have Apple Arcade, and that's it's not really where I would prefer to play it. But I hope they put this out somewhere on like Switch or something.
Yeah.
Most Apple Arcade games have come to Switch, except for goddamn Choo Choo Rocket Universe. I'm still waiting on that. And it's driving me nuts.
There's a Choo Choo Rocket game that I have not played on Apple Arcade.
Yes, they made a sequel to Choo Choo Rocket on Apple Arcade.
This needs to come to Switch immediately.
I know, but it launched with Apple Arcade, so it's been years now, and still nothing.
That is insane to me.
It really is. You were talking about maybe Sega being in Nintendo Direct. That's what I want.
Yeah. What is it called? Choo Choo Rocket what?
Choo Choo Rocket Universe, I think.
Well, they need to bring that over.
I don't think we mentioned, by the way, who Yu Suzuki is. Besides Shenmue, like this guy's known for Space Harrier, but also Virtua Fighter and Outrun. like he's a legend. He's an absolute Sega legend.
Daytona USA, like you've touched a game he's played, like more than likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like all those Sega arcade games in the 90s, this guy had a hand in.
Like, if you like Sega games, and I like Sega games, you've played a Yu Suzuki game.
And then we lost him, like so many others, to the Shenmue black hole. It's a shame.
See, here's the thing about Shenmue.
Oh no!
I wanted to exist just to torture other people. You know what I mean? Because you know, I've played about 15 minutes of Shenmue 3. It's a game I played once. But like, just the amount of anger I've seen towards Shenmue, I'm like, this is just pure shit.
I'm one of them. There's like 5 games or franchises that say that really actually, like, there's a lot of them that just say, I'm not into it, but whatever, that's fine. Shenmue is one of those. I'm just like, why the fuck does anybody like this? This makes me mad.
Well, if you think about it, Shenmue was like the precursor to Animal Crossing and all this stuff. Like it's like this weird kind of ahead of its time thing. It's not a good game, I would say, but it's still like interesting to see that what that evolved out of, essentially.
That's insulting to Animal Crossing.
I mean, hey, it's, you know, you can't pick what inspires you, I guess.
Yeah, boy. Let's talk about Tony Hawk. Speaking of depressing.
This bums me out so hard.
I know. So Tony Hawk was doing a live stream, which I didn't even know Tony Hawk did live stream. I don't know. Maybe
I didn't know he knew how to work OBS. Honestly,
I think he might have been a guest on somebody else's. I'm not sure. But one of the things he let slip out is Vicarious Visions was doing a follow-up to their Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake, I should say, of Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake. But then Vicarious Visions was folded into Blizzard last year, and because Blizzard really needed more manpower for Diablo.
I really hate Bobby Kotick.
I know. And so Tony Hawk 3 and 4 was killed.
The wildest thing to me is, like, I think Tony Hawk 4 is one of the games I played. Like you were saying, Destiny 2 was the game you played the most. I put an insane amount of hours into Tony Hawk 4 when I was a child.
I did 3 more than 4. I didn't do a lot of 4.
4 kind of came when I was like the right age for this.
Yeah.
And I spent like an entire summer playing this game. And it just bums me out that they're not going to remake them.
I know. And allegedly, after Vicarious Visions was called into Diablo, Activision did look for another studio but couldn't find the right fit.
Yeah, maybe they should have just let Vicarious Visions make it.
And, well, I mean, Vicarious Visions, I don't know. All right, so we had mentioned that, you know, probably early next year, Activision and Blizzard will be officially owned by Microsoft. I don't know if you can pull Vicarious Visions back out of Blizzard by this point, or if they're too far ingratiated. That's not the right word. Integrated, or if you could extract Vicarious Visions and make them their own studio again. But also, like, you can just say, "Hey, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 developed by Blizzard." Whatever, who cares? Blizzard Albany. That's fine.
That is something I'm interested in post-merger, is like the idea of like some of these studios were just working on Call of Duty.
Yes.
But like, what are they going to make when they don't have to make that?
Right. That's why I really hope that Call of Duty is not annual anymore. Like, let's let Toys for Bob make another Crash or Spyro
or Banjo.
Or Banjo or Conquer. And hell, I would love it. Well, Raven, I think they work on Call of Duty Warzone, so they're probably going to be stuck on that.
That's fine.
Although,
like,
man,
I like Warzone. Like, that game's great. Like, it's not.
Yeah. I've never touched it, so I can't say anything about that. But boy, I would love. We know what I'd really love from Raven is to remaster the 2 Transformers games they did on 360 and bring those back.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah,
that would be lots of fun.
I just want new games to play from new people for my Xbox.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's not unreasonable. So what I wonder is if it's, I don't know. Look, I'm not a developer, but I wonder if they were to, especially after the acquisition, if they could do Tony Hawk 3 and 4 as a DLC pack for 1 and 2 instead of its own separate game. If they just like, all right, we're going to redo the levels and get the music and put those into the remaster of 1 and 2, you know, pay $20 for it, and there you go. I wonder if they can do that, and it would require less staff and less budgets than putting it out as a separate game.
My only worry,
I don't know.
My only worry is that 4 is such a different game than 3, 2, and
is
1. It is kind of, because it doesn't have like the time kind of limit thing.
Okay.
Where it's starting to go towards like the American Wasteland and like underground style Tony Hawk game. It's like that was like the beginning.
I was all the way off. I didn't even touch those games.
Yeah, so it could maybe, but like I'd be a bit let down if they were just like, here's a couple levels from 4. I'd be like, you could have just remade the game.
Yeah.
Like. But I understand. Like Bobby Kotick's a monster, so we won't get it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're definitely not going to get it until the acquisition, and even that, I don't know.
Yeah, after that, it's a crapshoot of like.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what people make after it, though.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited for that. Like, just like look, I don't hate Call of Duty by any means, but I want some other games besides just Call of Duty from those studios.
I mean, those studios are so good. And
they are.
They could make their own things.
Yeah, I mean the Spyro and Crash collections, and then Crash 4 were seemingly all great. I've played a little bit of the Spyro one; it was phenomenal.
Yeah, bring back Skylanders.
Oh yeah. Actually, now that you mentioned that, not to Skylanders, but people also talk about, hey, maybe they'll bring back Guitar Hero. I don't know if they will because it feels weird to have a game on Game Pass where you're like, well. You also have to go to the store and buy this piece of equipment to play.
I think Guitar Hero's time is past.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
I mean, I was never that heavily into it anyway.
Like, think about like the relevance of rock music now. It's not as big as it was in 2006 or whenever those games came out. Like the most they could do is probably like a Greta Van Fleet rock band thing. Like.
Ooh. All right, hey, that doesn't sound too bad.
It doesn't sound bad, but like that's all they could do, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like there's not a whole lot of big influential rock bands right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's a similar issue with Skylanders. It's just if you have games on Game Pass, it's weird to ask people to go out and buy peripherals for it too.
True.
I mean, like there was what was the Ubisoft space game?
Oh, Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink. You didn't actually need the toys for it. You could just buy digital versions of all that.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess they could do.
It's on PlayStation Plus if you want to play it, and you don't even need it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You do not need the toys to play it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it sucks because like there's the Star Fox DLC that you could only play on Nintendo.
Yeah, I have the system on, or I have the Starlink on Switch because of that.
Yeah. So I mean. It you know, I think the Toys to Life fad is over. I still think amiibos are cool, but it's not enough to make me excited.
But so do you think? But I don't know. I guess I'm trying to gauge. I know you were joking earlier, but I'm trying to gauge if there's actually a real merit to making Skylanders without the toys. Essentially, I don't know.
I think there is. I think there's enough. There's enough characters where I feel like they could do something with it. Like it's not. I don't necessarily think it'll be like a one-on-one thing, but I think there are people who really love Skylanders. Like I know that's a huge audience, and
Microsoft does want more family games.
And I think Skylanders would be like a perfect like thing to play with your kids if like they were like, oh, this is like a fun game. They could do like a Harvest Moon thing with Skylanders or something. I don't know. Ooh. They could do something.
Skylanders cross Viva Pinata.
Yeah, you joke. But I'd play that.
Viva Pinata is like a top 5 all-time game for me. I fucking love.
I remember so when that game was coming out and just being so excited because like that was the coolest thing. As like I was like 12 or 13 when that came out. Like damn. I
didn't play it until Rare Replay on Xbox One. I wish I had. Actually, no. You know what? I wish I didn't play it at all until now because even now they gave it FPS boost and like that game. You play that game on Series X now, it'll knock you on your ass. It is gorgeous.
Game rules.
Yeah. Many new that boy talk about a game that would like be. It was so ahead of its time. If you did it now, man, that thing would take the fuck off. Especially on the cloud where you can have your garden with you at all times.
Also, the TV show is not bad.
I've had a YouTube playlist of that saved in my library for like
it's
3 years now that I just haven't.
It's not awful. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah. They did a DS game of Viva Pinata. That was weird. Anyway, hey, you planning on being alive when Fallout 5 comes out?
Sure hope so.
Yeah. Todd Howard was being interviewed by IGN.
I hope my grandkids can play Fallout 5.
And he had mentioned, hey, we're finishing Starfield. After that, we're doing Elder Scrolls. It's in pre-production now. After that, we're doing Fallout 5.
I wish he'd stop doing this. We all know Fallout 5 is the one after Elder Scrolls. We all know. He's just saying it because it'll get people talking about the games. He just...
Like I haven't seen the interview. Was he asked directly or
no?
What?
He kind of. I feel like I haven't seen it there, but I feel like the way it's phrased is like he announced it. I think it was more like an offhand comment, like, "Of course we're doing Fallout 5 after Elder Scrolls."
Okay.
But like,
all right, so this was just him talking.
Yeah, But man, he's gotta stop name dropping games that aren't going to come out for like another 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And I think it was Gershman kind of ran through the math of like, hey, there was this much time between Fallout 4 and Starfield. So if we extrapolate that and even, subtract some because assume, all right, there was Fallout 76 in there, plus now they're going to have more familiarity with the engine. So I think it would be like, all right, so Elder Scrolls. So, all right, so Starfield in 23, Elder Scrolls 4 years after that, so that's 27. So then Fallout in 31?
Jesus
Christ. Or 30?
God, no. Todd's got to shut up. That's just what he's got to start doing. He's a modern-day Peter Molyneux. He's got to stop.
Yeah.
I have no doubt Fallout 5 will come out. I have no doubt. But, like, at the same time, it's a ways out.
Right.
And I feel like he knows people won't realize that and will just be like, oh, Fallout 5's coming. Like, no, it's not. That's not what he's saying. He's going to make that at some point.
I mean, that's not on this console. That's for damn sure.
It's not at all.
Yeah. But there have been some talks, or beginnings of talk, I guess I should say, of Bethesda, Microsoft, and Obsidian sitting down, and the idea of Obsidian doing, whether it be a New Vegas 2 or some other kind of spin-off within Fallout Sheboygan maybe, has been broached. That topic has been broached. But Obsidian's busy too. So, I mean, even if that happens, that's still not happening tomorrow.
That'll be faster than Fallout 5, that's for sure.
Yes, yeah, no, I agree with that. But even, like, if they won't be able to start that till after probably Outer Worlds 2 is out, which, maybe that might be 2 years from now. So, like, we're still talking, like, maybe Elder Scrolls and a Fallout spinoff would come out around the same time.
Probably. I don't know. I love Bethesda games, but, like, Todd's gotta stop doing this. Like, please, I'm begging you.
Somebody muzzle that man.
Yeah, I love you, Todd Howard, but stop.
Rip one of the sleeves off his leather jacket and muzzle him with it.
That's right. And think about this. He's also producing the Indiana Jones game.
Right.
Which is like...
I wonder when that's coming.
I'd say 2 years from now. That's my guess.
Well, it depends on if there's going to be a Wolfenstein or not, I think.
I don't think there will be for a while.
I know. I think you're right, but I want to think you're wrong.
I mean, I'd love it. I'd love to be wrong, but I think that right now they're full speed ahead on this Indiana Jones thing. That's
a shame because there was like Wolfenstein 2 now was so long ago that I have to imagine they weren't doing Indiana Jones this whole time, right? They had to have started on a Wolfenstein and then put it on a shelf. Is my guess.
There's an easy solution to this.
What's that?
Have Arcane make a Wolfenstein game in the meantime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did, and it was Youngblood, and that wasn't so great.
Yeah, but as like a immersive sim is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Man, I'll just do anything for any kind of.
I mean,
Wolfenstein.
I'd love to kill a Nazi again. I'd love to do it.
Have Machine Games and 343 trade franchises.
Don't do that. Don't give me hope. That sounds amazing.
Dead Cells has new updates, free update. They're calling Breaking Barriers, and this is very exciting to me because it's all about accessibility. There's two halves to this. There's a bunch of accessibility options and a bunch of difficulty options. And I loved Dead Cells, but it was, for whatever reason, to me, it was brutally hard, and I just could not progress far in it at all. Unlike Hades, which I was able to, which was also brutally hard, but it had that. Hades had God mode, which wasn't actually God mode. Like, you weren't invincible. It had a thing where I think every time you died, you got 2% damage resistance, and up to like I think 80 if you died 40 times. So I was able to progress in Hades and got to the surface once. I know I need to get to the surface a bunch more times, but Dead Cells I wasn't able to do that, and now with this update, I think I'm going to give it another go. As a matter of fact, that was another game I was thinking about streaming last night, and I didn't end up doing it. I may, right when we get done this podcast, I may pop on Dead Cells.
I'm just not into, I think I've said on the show, I'm not into platformers or like anything like this. Like, this is one, though, that I look at and I'm like, this looks cool. Like,
it's super cool, man.
Like, Dead Cells is something really cool that I will never play because I'll probably be bored by it.
It's much more about combat than platforming. Okay. There's not a whole lot of difficulty. There's really very few like difficult jumps or anything like that. It's really about platforming.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you like Hades?
Oh, I love Hades. Hades is great.
Yeah. It does in many ways, because I mean, obviously it's a roguelike like Hades. It does feel like a 2D Hades sorta. I don't know. It's on Game Pass. Yeah. Give it a go.
Yeah. Give it a go.
I would suggest it because it's definitely not as platformer heavy as you may think. As something like Ori, which Ori's one of my favorite fucking games, but that is heavily a platformer, and this is not
fun for me.
Oh man, God, I love Ori. Ori 2, the combat in Ori 1 was awful. That got a lot better in 2. The combat in Dead Cells, honestly, like, I can't think of a 2D game with better combat than Dead Cells. I really can't. Yeah, I don't know. I would suggest you just pop on Game Pass and give it a go at some point. Maybe I'm wrong and you'll hate it, but it couldn't hurt.
The only game similar to this I can think of that I actually like is Guacamelee. Like, I don't know.
Then you know what, man? I really think you'll like this.
Okay,
thing.
all right.
I need to get more into Guacamelee. I've only gotten. Yeah, I know it looks great. I've only gotten a little bit into it. I wish that does have co-op, but only local. I wish it was online. But there's a lot of indie games I would say that for. Hey, Pokemon Snap is back, but not new Pokemon Snap. I guess we're calling it old Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap 64.
Yeah, it's on the Nintendo Online Expansion Pass. Is it Expansion Pass or Expansion Pack?
I don't know.
All right. Well, whatever. It's on the thing. The expensive thing.
I'm set on this too, honestly.
Yeah. Do you have the expansion pack?
I do.
Pass?
I do not. I have Nintendo Online, but I have the only regular one, so I can play Splatoon.
Me neither.
Only so I can play Splatoon. That's really it.
Yeah, fucking. I don't actually play anything online. I did play some Mario Strikers. That's not like the only multiplayer I played on Switch forever.
I played a little bit also Pokemon Unite.
Well, that's free to play, so you don't need the.
Yeah, that should come to PC. I think it'd be hilarious. Put it on PC.
Oh, is it not on there?
It's not.
Oh wow, it's on. It definitely should be. The trading card games on PC. Why not do Unite on PC?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like Pokemon on PC is not unprecedented.
No. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That should definitely happen. As far as the expansion pass, there have been some leaks about them testing out Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games.
Yep.
My assumption is when that happens, Game Boy will go on the lower tier, and Game Boy Advance will go on the expansion pass. And that's, if they, have a good library, I would be much more excited for Game Boy Advance than I am for N64. That's for sure. So that would probably be the thing that would get me to join the expansion pack. Maybe they'll announce that in the Direct. Probably not, but maybe.
I'd be more excited for GameCube. I'd probably think about it at that point. But
yeah, but I mean, I've given up on that.
I have to. I've given up on Nintendo doing anything that with their online thing that I'll actually enjoy.
Man, they're such a frustrating company because they make they're probably still, I would say, the number one software developer in the world. They make the best games, but god damn it,
they're just fucking ancient when it comes to technology.
I know, and just doing weird shit like having the Mario collection only out for a couple. Whatever. I mean, that's just going down the hole of like Nintendo complaints.
I can't believe they did that. It's so weird.
I know, and I bought it. It worked.
I did too.
Fuckers.
And I play it a lot. I mean, it's good. It's a great collection, but like
I still haven't played it. And that was actually another thing I was thinking of streaming. I've never played Mario 64.
What?
I've never played Mario Galaxy.
Okay, 64 I can kind of like forgive, but not Mario Galaxy.
I know.
I was like crazy.
Like I had the Wii, and like the only thing I played for it was Smash Brothers Brawl. I can't think of a single other game I got far in.
You didn't play. Now I can't think of any Wii games.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Damn.
No Wii Fit for me.
No Wii Fit.
And even Sunshine I played a little bit of, not much, but honestly I'm not. I'd much rather play the other two.
I love Sunshine.
Did they? On the Switch, is aiming the water gun better than it used to be?
It's a better control stick, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll give that a go. But anyway, I was thinking about streaming Mario 64. Maybe I will. I don't know. Did you play Into the Breach?
I did. I do.
I have not.
I really love Into the Breach.
I have not yet, and I love tactics games, so I really should. I bought it on Switch, so it's there.
It is.
It's getting a big update for free. Called the Advanced Edition. It's gonna add new weapons, new characters, new mini campaign.
Ooh.
And it's also, don't quote me on the campaign, but definitely weapons and characters. I think also more scenarios. I don't know. It had a bunch of stuff, bunch of new things for free, and it's also coming to mobile through Netflix. Netflix has been adding mobile games to their app. They bought the studio that did Oxenfree. And this is going to be their newest one coming on July 19th. All that stuff comes on July 19th.
Sure. I think this is like the perfect little spot Netflix should be in. I think this is like where they could make a little like nice little nest on mobile games. Totally. Everyone has a phone. Like people like mobile games. I don't, but people do. Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, there's I haven't gotten into many mobile games. There was a couple, and especially not recently, but there was a couple of years ago. I got into Marvel Puzzle Quest for a little while, and I did play through up to the end of Chapter 3 in Final Fantasy Tactics on my phone. That's how I played that game. And I really, really loved it up until that boss in Chapter 3. I just couldn't. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I got stuck. I could not progress. Now, apparently there's been, the NVIDIA leak had a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics, so maybe I'll give that another go. But, I'd rather the Apple Arcade and this Netflix thing are not mobile games in the sense of they're not free to play with a bunch of microtransactions. They're games with a beginning, middle, and end. And I know, I on this show I say, hey, I like live service games, but I don't know, not for mobile. I guess I'd rather, if I'm gonna play something on mobile, I'd rather it be more of a traditional game. I guess I'm not making much sense here, but I'd rather not have a mobile game begging me for money all the time. I guess is what I'm getting at. It feels more scummy on mobile than on a console for some reason. Maybe that's just me.
The only mobile game I really ever got into was Marvel Trading Card Game, and I had to quit it because I was getting too into it. Yeah, I don't know. This is a good place for them. I just won't ever use it.
Yeah. But the Advanced Edition stuff coming. Where did you play it at? On Switch or on PC? Yeah. Well, you're still gonna get the new content for free.
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll boot this back up.
Well, you got a month.
Yeah.
Less than a month now. And then we got a pair of Sonic stories here that are fun to end on.
One that's interesting and one that deeply, deeply depresses me.
Let's start with the depressing one. No, actually, let's start with the interesting one. So it has been. I'm going to pull up the story so that I don't get the details wrong here because this whole thing was effing crazy. It has been. Come on, do it right here. Stupid thing. Kind of a debate for, I think, 28 years now, about if Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson,
famous pedophile,
yeah, as well as famous for music, but more for pedophilia.
Yeah.
If he actually did music for Sonic 3. There was a lot of evidence that he did, but there was nothing concrete yet about it. And then they released the Sonic Origins collection, as you know.
Yes.
I think we talked about it last week. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we're not even out of the blue, but just, I don't know, there was no fanfare around it for a 28-year debate to come to a close. It was just crazy. Yuji Naka, Sonic's dad, came out and tweeted, like, wait a second, and I have the exact tweets here. Does Sonic Origins Sonic 3 have a different song? Oh my god, the music for Sonic 3 has changed, even though Sega official uses Michael Jackson's music. So like, I guess the debate's over? That was real?
I love punished Yuji Naka going out, wiping ashes on his face, being a diamond dog, and just saying, just with his whole chest, Michael Jackson did the music for Sonic 3.
Oh, fuck, this was insane. I don't know, just like, there was a quote up until, oh, damn it, trying to get both these things running on my iPad here at the same time so I could have the story up, but might not be worth it. There was a quote like up to like 10 years ago where he was asked about it, and it was just like, well, you'd have to ask Sega, I guess. I can't comment on it. And now all of a sudden it's just like, I'm going to burn the fucking world down.
It's like,
I'm proud of him, but at the same time, damn, dude, scorched earth.
Balan Wonderworld left this man cold.
Yeah. Understandably.
And then, so I guess that's Sonic's former dad. And then Sonic's current dad also came out and said, hey, I got 3 rules for Sonic at this point. He has to run fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Checks out, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
He can't swim. Which even like in Sonic and Sonic and Mario at the Olympics games, they apparently give him like flotation devices for this reason.
That is so adorable. I love that.
And then the last rule, Sonic can't kiss ladies anymore.
Sonic has been me too.
Even if the ladies consent, Sonic can't kiss him.
He's a good man now.
Yeah. I don't know. Let the ladies kiss Sonic. That's what I say.
The ladies love him. Look at him.
I think if you're a lady out there,
yeah, you
should write in our comments section, do you want to kiss Sonic?
Yeah.
Yes or no? We would like to hear.
I will put out a Twitter poll, and I'm going to find out if they want to kiss Sonic.
Yeah.
And I know the answer. They all do. But
oh, of course, clearly. I think a lot of guys do too, but I don't know if Sonic rolls that way. Maybe he does.
I'll say it. I'll kiss Sonic.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's the end of our news. Not. I don't know why I said I guess. Of course, it's the end of news. I got the list right in front of me. I know the answer. Anything else you want to say?
Not really.
I'm just really disappointed that Sonic Team won't let Sonic pursue true love.
Yes. That is a real bummer. there's, listen to the first Sonic Adventure theme song, Sega. Open your heart.
Open your heart, it'll be all right.
What are you gonna play?
What am I gonna play?
Coming up.
I'm gonna play a lot more Dragon Age Origins.
All right.
What else? Yeah, right now just Dragon Age Origins. I'm waiting for Saints Row to drop right now. That's just my whole life.
When is that?
That is in August.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know I've mentioned it a lot. I'm waiting on Multiverses, and that one's depressing because not even depressing, but just it's anxiety inducing because we know it's July, we don't know when. Could be July 1st, but probably not. I'm guessing it's gonna be later. It could just wake up one morning and there it is. But like I mentioned, I think I'm gonna go back into Dead Cells, and I have it on Switch, but I might do it on Game Pass this time. Because it probably runs better, and it probably looks nice on Xbox. Maybe I'll stream it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think you should definitely try Dead Cells, especially as it's free.
I might check it out if I can get away from Dragon Age Origins for a little bit, because that's kind of got its hooks in me right now.
Well, where can people hear Kame Club?
You can hear
Or where can people hear your other podcasts?
So you can hear Kame Club literally everywhere. Spotify, iTunes. Yeah, we're all over the place. Every Wednesday we're releasing an episode, except for next week. As next week is the 4th, I'm not going to be home, so no episode there. But we're going to be recording tomorrow, or today technically. But yeah, check that out. Follow me on Twitter at young_Kame_. And ladies, like, if you're listening, just if you want to smooch Sonic, just let me know. I'll hook you up.
Yeah. Well, I'll get Sonic costumes too.
Yeah.
You can find me on twitch.tv/FreshlyStreamedGames and youtube.tv/FreshlyStreamedGames, which you might be watching this video on. Or maybe you're listening to it as an audio. And, I think I'm going to stream probably Dead Cells. But, like, I don't know. I don't feel like getting... I don't know. Right now, I'm just holding off for Multiverses, honestly. I know that sounds weird, but, like, I don't really feel like playing much else. I know. I finished Steven Universe.
Yes.
And I started Samurai Jack.
Yeah, actually. There you go.
Even though Samurai Jack's not in the game yet, I'm sure it's going to happen.
It's obvious it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. There's a couple characters, honestly, that I'm shocked are not in right away. Samurai Jack, Captain Planet, that's WB. Why isn't he in there yet?
I'm hoping the High on Life guy eventually makes it in, because like he has all those guns. That could be fun. Like,
yeah. Scorpion, it's weird that he's not there yet.
Yeah, that's an obvious one.
Neo's weird. Ruby Rose from
Beetlejuice?
Rooster Teeth's Ruby.
Beetlejuice?
What's
Beetlejuice?
Yes, Beetlejuice. There's a lot of weird characters. Fred Flintstone.
Ooh,
it's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm sure those all will eventually happen, but
yeah,
I don't know. And fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I want him there, but it's weird that he's not there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's a whole nother tangent. So we'll be back probably in 2 weeks, I would presume. Please rate us. We're since the first episode. I mean, we weren't on any services when we recorded the first episode. Now we're pretty much everywhere. I got us up on Apple, Google, all the stuff he just mentioned about Comic Club. We're pretty much on all the same stuff here. So please rate us on any of those services and tell your friends and all the stuff. Yep. So that's all. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.